What happens when the most powerful player in basketball history goes head-to-head with the most powerful agency in today, SNBA? For decades, Michael Jordan's S-word was gospel. If he said it happened, it happened. But lately, a few people have started to test that, and not just random fans or journalists we are talking about, people linked to Klutch Sports, the agency that represents LeBron James, the same agency accused of controlling modern NBA narratives. And that S, where things just got messy. It all started with what sounded like a harmless story. Jordan talking about missing a free throw after years of retirement. A funny little moment, right? Except an NBA insider decided to publicly call cap on it. The problem? That insider just happens to be one of Klutch's favorite media voices. Within hours, social media exploded. Fans started saying things like, "Here we go again, Klutch trying to rewrite basketball history." Some even accused the reporter of cashing Klutch checks, implying he was being paid to twist the truth. But underneath the memes and outrage was a much deeper tension, a Cold War that's been brewing for years between Jordan's era and LeBron's empire. The old guard versus the machine. The greatest of all time versus the system built to challenge his throne. Because let us be honest, for Klutch Sports, Michael Jordan isn't just a legend. He is a problem. His story is too perfect. His dominance too complete. Every time the GOAT conversation comes up, Jordan's name still ends it. And that S bad for business when your star client at a legacy depends on rewriting that story. So maybe this wasn't just about one free throw. Maybe it was about something bigger, the battle for basketball's narrative itself. But Jordan isn't someone who lets things slide. When the greatest competitor of all time feels disrespected, history shows he doesn't argue. He proves. And this time, he's about to do it again. Because once you come for his legacy, Michael Jordan destroys lies for breakfast. Section 1. The Legend versus the Machine. Before we talk about the drama, we need to understand what S really at stake. Michael Jordan isn't just a retired player. He is a myth that refuses to die. Every brand, every athlete, every sneaker drop still lives in his shadow. 6 championships, 2 three-peats. A career built on dominance, obsession, and proof. Jordan didn't talk about being great, he showed you. Now, enter Klutch Sports, founded by Rich Paul, LeBron James. Lifelong friend Klutch has become the most influential power broker in the modern NBA. They control player contracts, shape narratives, and have close ties with major media outlets. For years, critics have accused them of quietly steering stories to favor their own clients. So, when fans saw a Klutch-connected reporter publicly fact-check Michael Jordan, it didn't feel like journalism, it felt like an attack. The old GOAT versus the new machine. Jordan represents the raw, untouchable era of basketball when greatness was proven on the court, not negotiated in the press. Klutch represents the era of leverage, influence, and branding, where power isn't just about points. It's about perception. That S, what makes this clash so explosive. It's not simply a disagreement about a story, it is a battle between two worlds, one built on sweat, blood, and silence, the other built on strategy, marketing, and control. To some, Klutch is revolutionizing athlete empowerment. To others, they were rewriting basketball history to make LeBron the undisputed GOAT. And somewhere between those headlines stands Michael Jordan, the man whose name still triggers debates, documentaries, and now denials. But this isn't the first time someone tried to question his legend. And it definitely won't be the last. Because just when people start to forget why, he is untouchable, Jordan reminds them. Section 2. The free throw flash. It all began with what seemed like an innocent moment, a quick story from the man himself. Jordan had mentioned in an interview that, after years away from the game, he walked into a gym, lined up at the free throw line, and airballed. He laughed it off, said the rhythm was gone, the feel was off. Even the GOAT needs a minute to find his touch again. Harmless, right? A human moment from a living legend. But then came the twist. NBA insider Shams Charania, a journalist known for breaking major stories, and one of the media figures most often connected to Klutch Sports, decided to call cap on the story. He implied that Jordan's version wasn't true. No context, no evidence, just that hint of doubt. Within hours, the internet caught fire. Fans on X, formerly Twitter, started posting, "Why is Shams suddenly questioning MJ?" and "must be getting those clutch checks." It wasn't just about accuracy, it was about loyalty. Because if there is one thing the basketball world agrees on, it's this. You didn't casually question Michael Jordan's legacy unless you were ready for war. And that single comment lit the fuse. Clips of the moment spread everywhere, side-by-side comparisons, old footage, people analyzing hand angles and release points like detectives solving a crime. Some said Shams was brave for speaking up. Others said he was part of a coordinated effort to chip away at Jordan's mythology. But here's where it gets wild. That tiny disagreement about a single free throw turned into something much bigger. Because when you challenge Jordan, you're not just arguing about basketball. You're poking at the foundation of greatness itself. And the GOAT doesn't let that slide easily. Section 3. Media Narrative Influence. The NBA isn't just a league anymore. It's a storyline factory. Every dunk, every quote, every tweet becomes part of a larger narrative. And nobody understands that power better than Klutch Sports. Founded in 2012 by Rich Paul, Klutch built its empire not just through contracts, but through control. They mastered the art of owning the conversation. You don't just sign players, you sign media's influence, relationships, coverage, and headlines. And slowly that control started shaping how fans see greatness. When LeBron joined Klutch, everything changed. Suddenly comparisons to Michael Jordan weren't organic debates, they were campaigns. Analysts, podcasts, sports, shows all repeating the same lines. LeBron's longevity, more all around, better leader. It didn't happen overnight, but it was everywhere. And here's the catch: most fans didn't even realize it. That is the genius of narrative control. You don't have to prove your guy is the GOAT. You just have to make people question the other guy as throne. So when Shams Charania, one of the most visible reporters in basketball, suddenly questions a harmless Jordan story, fans didn't see it as journalism. They saw it as strategy. Another small cut in the long game to elevate LeBron's legacy and erode Jordan's. Because that S, how modern sports media works not with facts, but with frequency. Say it enough times and people start believing it. But the irony? The more they try to discredit him, the stronger Jordan's myth becomes. Because every generation that tries to replace him ends up proving why he's still untouchable. And this time, the machine may have pushed too far, because Jordan's silence doesn't mean surrender. It means he is loading up. Section 4. Fans, leaks, social media. Uproar. The moment Shams' comment hit the internet, the entire basketball world flipped upside down. Within minutes, Jordan fans were flooding timelines, calling it another Klutch PR stunt. Threads started popping up with titles like "They were rewriting history again" and "MJ vs. Klutch Round 2." Clips of Jordan's legendary moments resurfaced. The flu game, the shrug, the last shot. Every highlight reel became an act of defiance. Fans weren't just defending a player, they were protecting a legacy. But it wasn't all one-sided. LeBron fans and Klutch supporters fired back, calling Jordan fans obsessed boomers who couldn't accept that the game had evolved. Hashtags like Team LeBron and Klutch Facts started trending alongside MJ Never Lies. And that ceased. When things got interesting, anonymous insiders began posting cryptic tweets claiming Jordan had taken the comment personally. One even wrote, "You all see soon. MJ's response will be classic." That single line sparked chaos. People started speculating. Was Jordan about to speak publicly? Was there a new interview coming? Was he planning to take a shot at Klutch literally or figuratively? YouTube channels, podcasts, and even mainstream outlets jumped on the storm. Everyone wanted a piece of the narrative. But amid all the noise, one thing became clear. This wasn't just an internet argument anymore. It was a cultural event. Because Jordan isn't just an athlete, he's seen a symbol. And when someone tries to chip away at that symbol, fans treat it like a personal attack. They don't just defend him. They go to war for him. And that loyalty that fires, that exactly what Klutch never expected. They may control the headlines, but they don't control the people. Section 5. What if the legend is getting tested? For most of his life, Michael Jordan has lived above the noise. He has never needed to defend himself. His game did that for him, but this time felt different. The doubt was, and it coming from a rival player, or a critic desperate for attention. It was coming from inside the system, from voices powerful enough to shift perception itself. So, what happens when the untouchable finally gets tested? If Jordan's story really was off, even by a small detail, it wouldn't erase his greatness. But perception matters. Because once people start to question the small stories, they eventually start questioning everything. And in the age of social media, reputation doesn't fate it fractures. But what if the opposite is true? What if this was never about facts at all, but about power? What if the goal wasn't to expose a false story, but to remind everyone who controls the narrative now that it's the dangerous part of modern sports? The game isn't just played on the court anymore. It has played in headlines, algorithms, and whispers. And Jordan's legacy lives in a world that wasn't built for him. A world where truth can be drowned out by a trending hashtag. But if history tells us anything, it's that Jordan doesn't lose battles, he studies them. He lets people talk, doubt, and underestimate until he strikes back in the most unexpected way possible. Because when you've spent your whole life turning disrespect into fuel, every test becomes an opportunity. And maybe, just maybe, this moment isn't about Jordan being questioned. It's about everyone else being reminded that greatness doesn't need defending. It just needs one more reason to prove itself. Section 6. The quiet counterpunch. If there is one thing every Jordan fan knows, he never responds with words. He responds with results. Throughout his career, every slight, every comment, every whisper of doubt became ammunition. He took it personally. Wasn't just a meme, it was his mindset. And when the Klutch controversy started spinning out of control, Jordan didn't post a tweet, give an interview, or make a speech. He did something far more dangerous. He stayed silent. Because silence from Jordan isn't weakness, it's warning. It said the same quiet before he dropped 63 on the Celtics, before he returned wearing the number 45, before he walked into the locker room and said, "I am back." That kind of silence usually means someone about to get embarrassed. And sure enough, whispers started to spread again. People close to Jordan began sharing subtle reminders of his dominance, photos from the Hornets facility, footage from his recent private workouts, even brand moves from Jumpman that suddenly flooded social feeds. It felt intentional, like he was reminding everyone that even retired, he still runs the game's heartbeat. Meanwhile, the Klutch side went quiet. The reporter who started it, no follow-up, No clarification, just silence. And in that silence, the internet flipped the script. The same people who questioned Jordan started defending him. Memes shifted from MJS lying to, "They shouldn't have poked the bear." Because that S, the thing about Jordan, he doesn't fight for attention. He commands it. When he is quiet, the world fills in the blanks with fear. And once again, without saying a word, the GOAT reminded everyone. You can debate stats, you can spin stories, but you can rewrite dominance. Section 7, the aftermath. Weeks passed, and the storm started to settle, at least on the surface. The Klutch crowd stopped talking, the headlines died down, and the noise faded into the usual rotation of trade rumors and game highlights. But the fans, they didn't forget. In fact, the entire thing had backfired. What was meant to cast doubt on Jordan's credibility only reminded people why he's the standard. Every time a new player tried to claim the throne, the internet brought up the same comparisons. But did he ever dominate like MJ? That is the power of legacy. It doesn't crumble under controversy, it feeds off it. You see, when you attack a myth, you risk making it stronger. And for Michael Jordan, this free throw lie saga became another chapter in his legend proof that even 20 years after retiring, he is still relevant enough to shake the modern NBA's ecosystem. Meanwhile, fans started connecting dots. The timing of the criticism, the people behind it. The fact that every story questioning Jordan somehow circled back to Klutch Sports, or its circle of influence. It started feeling less like coincidence and more like a chess move. But if it was, they picked the wrong opponent. Because Jordan doesn't play checkers, he builds dynasties. And as the memes turned into documentaries, and the documentaries turned into debates, the narrative flipped. The Klutch versus Jordan moment became a reminder that no PR machine, no influencer, and no media empire can rewrite what's already written in history. Because some stories don't need defending, they just need time. And in the end, time always proves one thing. Michael Jordan doesn't lose battles, he collects them. Section 8, Legacy versus Control. In the modern NBA, power isn't just about talent. It is about control. Control over contracts. Control over headlines. Control over who gets remembered and who gets rewritten. Klutch Sports mastered that game. But what they forgot is that legacy doesn't obey PR strategy. It obeys truth. Michael Jordan's story was never built in press rooms or podcasts. It was built in sweat, silence, and the scoreboard. Every record, every championship, every broken opponent, those weren't moments manufactured for social media. They were earned. And that's why his legacy scares modern power players. Because you can outmarket authenticity. You can spin stats when the proof is carved into banners hanging from the United Center ceiling. The Klutch era might dominate the media cycle, but Jordan still dominates the mythology of the sport. The more they try to question him, the more fans remember why they believe in him in the first place. His story is unfiltered, raw, and unnegotiable. And that's what makes this clash timeless. It's not just old versus new. It's earned versus engineered. One built greatness through action. The other builds perception through access. And no matter how powerful the machine becomes, it can erase the man who defined the game before the machine existed. So as the noise fades and the headlines move on, one truth remains untouched. You can destroy what was never fake. Because in the end, Klutch can buy attention. But Jordan owns eternity. So after all the noise, all the debates, and all the so-called lies, what did we really learn? That legends dawn to fade, they echo. And no matter how many agencies, insiders, or spin machines rise up, Michael Jordan's shadow still covers the game. Because greatness, real greatness, doesn't need defense. It doesn't tweet. It doesn't explain. It doesn't chase clout. It just exists. Unbothered, unbeatable, undeniable, and maybe that S, the part people like Klutch can stand. You can shape stories about today, S players all you want, but you will never rewrite the one story that doesn't belong to anyone. The story of the man who made basketball global. The man who turned competition into art. The man who became the standard. Jordan doesn't fight over who S the GOAT. He is the reason the term exists. So whether it S a free throw, a tweet, or a so-called expose, the truth remains the same. The machine can manufacture hype, but it can't manufacture Michael Jordan. And maybe that S, the real lesson here. In a world full of narratives, only one thing still matters: proof. And Jordan S. proof was written in championships, burned into highlight reels, and sealed with 6 rings. Because the day he stopped playing wasn't the day his story ended. It was the day everyone else S began trying and failing to catch him.